Chapter 3, I can't let this go. The next day, in the wake of your chat with Harley, you sit nervously at your Love Corp desk poking through Chloe's application on your computer. Chloe's my client. It's perfectly normal for me to be looking through her file, even if the parts I'm trying to access are beyond what most love texts are supposed to look at. Hi, Erica. You practically jump out of your skin when Alan, a software engineer you've met in passing, pauses by your desk with a friendly wave. Alan, hi. How are things going? First few weeks on the love tech grind, treating you well? I could use a hand, actually. And I have too, ready and waiting for your instructions. He wiggles his fingers and you try your best not to wrangle your face into a smile. Anyway, I was wondering if you know how to pull up personnel info on our clients? What do you need that for? Well, this woman called Cust Ops to complain about their initial survey paperwork never arrived, so I'm just trying to validate that it wasn't an error on our end. He watches you for a moment, long enough that your palms begin to sweat before he leans over and starts to use your computer. Well, as long as you've got their name and application ID, you should be able to input it here, find all the files associated with them. Oh, you're a lifesaver. As soon as he's out of sight, you look up Chloe, easily finding a file with the personal information and including her address in it. You quickly write it down, but before you can close the file and wipe your history, something catches your eye. What the? While Chloe's most recent application is pending every previous application, all 11 of them has a status of no candidates found. You lean over to Anari in the cubicle next to yours. Hey, have you ever seen an application labeled no candidates found? No, it's almost always no available candidates. Maybe compatibility rating's too low, or if two people had some commonalities but didn't quite match. It's pretty rare, though. No candidates found makes it sound like the algorithm has never even found a potential match for Chloe. That can't be normal. I mean, you've been in Love Corp longer than me, and if you haven't seen this before, it must be practically unheard of. Or is some kind of error a really big one? You worry too much, Erica. If it's a big of an error, someone would have caught it by now. You lean back over your desk and peer over Chloe's application again. Most of it seems pretty standard, except the discounted prices. Right, she's a contractor for Love Corp. There's gotta be a rundown of her work somewhere, right? But when you search for Campbell, no invoice log. The coding work Chloe was billed for is described only as Project Prometheus. That sounds ominous. You click on one of the files and only for a window to pop up requesting a password. So the main files are restricted, but it looks like the contracts associated with them aren't. Whatever Project Prometheus is, they're doing a lot of engineering and construction, and the medical division is involved. You cast a hesitant glance around the office, making sure you're not being watched. These are definitely files I shouldn't be looking at, but something in them could tell me what's wrong with, or what's going on with Chloe. I'll open the contractor files. Well, I'm already breaking the rules. Alright, so which do you want me to read first? Let me cry a little. I need more coffee. Chloe's work. CC to computer, adjustable inputs for redacted branch of redacted algorithm by 5.2. Inputs added clearly early by CC. Note from team, record time. Thank you on 4.2. As a reminder, we plan to ship redacted and associated updates by the end of Q2. Code freeze dates to be determined. The redacted update is highly confidential, and we ask that all external contractors refer back to their NDA for specific guidelines, discussing their work with others. Flagging that CC bypass redacted's security protocols. Can be revoke admin access ASAP, please. Update 4.24. Confirm CC contract termination per form redacted. Project invoice will be paid in full despite early termination. Remit to CC's home address. Chloe must have worked on a soulmate algorithm. The timing lines up with the last big engineering update. But I don't know why that information will be so confidential. Anyone at the company can access the change logs. Looking back at the final few updates, you fixate on one word: termination. She's got fired for bypassing security protocols, though it couldn't have been that bad since they paid out her contract. But maybe that's the reason she hasn't found the one. Next up is Agape Division. Agape goals. The purpose of the document is to illustrate the company's long-term strategic plans for the Agape Division, also known as MedTech Division. Since the launch of LoveCorp's first brain scanner in 2004, the company has maintained a keen interest in elevating and growing this powerful technology. Over time, the Agape Division has grown from a hand-selected team of 10 to a team of hundreds, including many contract workers operating remotely. This past year, our team has been dedicated to maintenance, marketability, and expansion. Our short-term aim has been to keep the tools and programs that power our brain scans for soulmate application and follow-up sessions up to date. In the long term, we plan to experiment with cutting-edge technology to improve our processes. We also will be continuing our hiring push until we have doubled the current staffing of our department. LoveCorp's clientele hasn't scaled up much over the past couple years, and we've had more than enough scanners to meet the need. So what are all the extra staff for? It's not like they need double the people to keep up the hardware maintenance and software updates. Unless they're looking to expand the brain scan processes into something more, but what? Where they're taking over your mind. They're gonna put a chip in your head. The Pragma Division. Pragma counseling efforts. To recap Jeff's presentation of the April board meeting, without bearing the lead this time, we've been observing exponential improvements to the soulmate algorithm. The improvement is thanks to the efforts of the Data and Research Division, and their work offers exciting possibilities for LoveCorp's future. We expect the rate of these algorithmic updates to render the Pragma redundant, as couple counselings has become increasingly unnecessary with couples who are also compatible. Beginning in the new fiscal year, we plan to cancel all contracts with the external couples therapist, moving our clients to our internal staff. The division will close entirely by 2052, with employees offered buyouts or internal transfers. Staffing dependent. What year is it in this damn game? I knew Pragma was overstaffed. I mean, soulmates usually get along too well to need counseling. That's why they're soulmates, but even if couples really get sent to Pragma, how can LoveCorp be this confident that the whole division will be redundant? Mind control. Construction contracts. Construction will begin on LoveCorp's 3 central offices in the winter to supersede all existing renovations. We can expect disruption in most divisions, particularly those located on the ground floor, as all buildings are slated for underground expansion. Department heads will receive an email from LoveCorp Construction and instructions for an on-office access alternative housing during renovation. Construction at the 4th LoveCorp office will begin immediately, which we anticipate will cause no disruptions to existing workflows. This information is strictly confidential. Please hold on sharing this with internal teams until PR greenlights the announcement. These contracts make it sound like the whole company is about to get a facelift. And what do you mean by the construction of the 4th LoveCorp office? We don't even have a 4th office, do we? Are you opening a few more files? You find a series of blueprints that are labeled LoveCorp Office 4, the address marked down. When did they build this, and where? This doesn't make any sense. These are all perfectly normal documents. Why are they tied to a restricted project? Just as you're closing out the last of your tabs, Anna appears at your desk, scowling. Is everything okay, ma'am? That remains to be seen. Chloe Campbell's case is being removed from your workload, effective immediately. Your mouth falls open in shock, and out of the corner of your eye, you can actually see the case disappear from your virtual workstation. What? Is she okay? Anna huffs and shakes her head, annoyed. She's perfectly fine, apart from the difficulties she's had with the intake process this year. A case as complex as Chloe's requires a more experienced technician who can actually get this poor client, resolved. Can I at least help whoever's taking over? Your assistance is no longer required, Erica. I advise you to focus on other applicants. And most importantly, let Chloe Campbell's case go. She stalks off towards her office, and the moment she's gone, Inara rolls her chair near her cubicle. Jeez, what crawled up her butt and died? I don't know. She seemed really angry, though. Oh, don't take it personally. Anna's always like that. She probably just got into another argument with Linda about staffing increases and took it out on you. Or she found out I've been asking questions and poking around in files. I need a breather. I'm gonna take a lunch. But as you step into the hallway, you find Nico headed down the corridor right for you. Hey, there's my favorite love tech. He stops short as he takes in your expression. Oh, damn, I was going to ask you to join me for lunch, but from the look on your face, I'll have to need to sweeten the deal. How about lunch and the chance to vent about work? Nico, venting and lunch sounds great. You're my hero. Yeah, you're my hero. Nico's eyes light up as he can't quite hold back a smile. I don't know if I say that, but I'm more than happy to help in any way I can. Oh, sounds pretty heroic to me. You expect Nico to lead you down the hall to the cafeteria, but instead the two of you head across campus to a classy restaurant on the top of a floor of another building. Whoa, isn't this place reserved for couples? Yeah, I figured we could check it out. Use our fingerprint scans for the first time. As you approach the host, you both place your fingers into one of the scanners, which chimes and glows green. I'm sorry. Did I just read put your fingers... What? Okay, I'm confused. I'm concerned at the same time. Follow me to your table, please. Actually, are any VIP rooms free? VIP room? Private dining rooms that come with extra perks. They give us a chance to talk more freely about work. You glance into the restaurant's main dining room, and more familiar faces fill the tables. Talking somewhere more private might not be the worst idea. Actually, I've been dealing with some work struggles of my own, and after the morning you had, I'd love to treat you. That's a great idea. A private room sounds perfect, thank you. I was hoping you'd say that. In that case, one VIP room right this way. You and Nico follow the host into the restaurant, where you're escorted to a room you can only describe as luxurious. There's one table set for two, and heavy doors mean no one can slip in unannounced. The perfect place for venting. You sit down across from Nico, marveling at the quality of the napkins and shine of the silverware. It's all fun and games until you know there's listening devices in the room. Wow. We could have been eating like this all along. It's a shame we didn't get paired sooner, because this is definitely better than the Love Corp cafeteria. If it were up to me, I'd take you out someplace like this every day. I'm not sure either of our budgets could afford that. Moments later, a server appears, laying a few plates out in front of you that immediately make your mouth water. So basically, it's an appetizer sampler. Is that an octopus in the top right? The red stuff? Looks like some sort of sandwich, maybe olives, bread, and shish kebabs. Carbs, the ultimate comfort food. You snatch a piece of bread before turning to the main course, an elegantly plated sushi roll, which was not shown in that picture. Oh, no, okay. How is that a sushi roll? Looks like that shit if you remember Demolition Man, right? And then in the middle, there's a piece of lettuce with a piece of fish, or I would assume salmon on it. I'm not sure I've ever had a hot piece of sushi. Neither have I. Actually, it's not steam. It's carbon dioxide from dry ice. The chef likely placed a small piece on it the plate before coming out to elevate the presentation of the dish. Well, if it tastes even half as good as it looks, we're in for a treat. The two of you dig in, savoring the delicious food, but soon Nico turns towards you, expression serious. Okay, tell me what's been going on at work that has you so stressed. So, remember the client that I was talking to Anna about a few days ago? The one who's been applying for years and still hasn't been paired? Well, today Anna took her case away from me. What? Why would she do that? I have no clue. I mean, she said it's because they want a more experienced tech on the case, but you think there's another reason. You shrug your shoulders, ignoring the guilty ache in your chest as you take another bite of the food. As much as I hate lying to him, Nico's a LoveCorp scientist. I doubt he'd approve of all the snooping I've been doing. Besides, telling him the truth might get him into trouble. I'm sorry, Erica. I can't imagine how frustrating that can be. This case, Anna taking it away, has been the least weird part, in all honesty. So much has happened this week, and it all seems to lead back to Chloe Campbell. I'm just wondering if she's okay, I'm in trouble, what's really going on here? Chloe, she got a really bad nosebleed during her brain scan, and the medics had to come get her. I just have this feeling that Chloe's case isn't an isolated incident. What makes you think that? Just some rumors I've heard, nothing concrete. Nico frowns, looking troubled. Well, between us, my department has been making a lot of baffling decisions lately, too. Baffling how? Just everything. Parts of projects being redacted, information requests being denied, and, I don't need to be read in on everything. I get the certain information that is given only on a need-to-know basis, but... He sighs, running a hand over his face tiredly. But I feel like there are things I need to know to do my job, like how my work fits into the bigger picture, and what it's being used for. How can I study something without knowing what it is? How could anyone? I thought you scientists get access to whatever you want. He laughs humorlessly, a dissonant sound compared to his normal cheerful demeanor. I wish. We've never had free reign, not even close. It wasn't always like that, though. I've never felt so out of the loop before. I don't even know what the loop is, or who's actually in it. I just wish I knew what to do about all this. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything either of us can do. But if you ever want advice or friendly ear who will listen, I'm always around. I'm your, one, after all. That is very sweet of you. It's nice to have someone I know I can rely on. He reaches across the table to place his hand on top of yours. You deserve all the support I can give. More, actually. The two of you fall silent as a server enters with a beautiful dessert that she sets down in front of you. I have no clue what that is. Well, they're the ones in here, so it must be. It isn't until you glance up that you notice that there isn't the same server you had at the start of the meal. In fact, this isn't even a server at all. Do either of you need anything else? Harley? What are you doing here? Oh, what do you mean? I'm a server. I'm just doing my job, of course. You spot her, suddenly realizing how strange that must have sounded. We just didn't call anyone over. Oh, I'm proactive like that. I'm sure there's nothing you two need. Nothing I can pass on to the kitchen. She widens her eyes at you significantly, and you barely keep them from rolling your own. Not at the moment, thank you. It's a brief, horrible moment where the three of you wait in silence, just staring at one another. Luckily, the universe intervenes. Nico's phone begins to chirp frantically, and he holds a pointer finger as he answers. Be right back. He ducks out of the room, and you breathe a sigh of relief. Well, half relief. After all, Harley's still here. What are you doing here, and what part of leave me alone wasn't clear to you? I promised to leave you alone after you held up your end of the bargain, and given that I still don't have Chloe's address... You huff out of breath, frustrated. I'm not giving that to you now, not in front of you, no. Harley nods, Fox serious, you can't help but scowl. Your soulmate, who isn't even in the room right now? We're still at LoveCorp's campus, and given I'm already on thin ice as it is, I'm not risking it. Harley throws her head back dramatically, groaning before reaching in her apron and pulling out a notepad. You watch as she scribbles something on the first page, tears it out, and thrusts it at you. What is this? My final offer. When you peer down, you see she's written an address. Meet me here after work. It's a public library, definitely not LoveCorp grounds, and not somewhere your lovebird would ever be. I don't know, he is a scientist. He's really smart, you know. And a LoveCorp scientist. They don't get out much, I hear. Okay, I'll be there. She raises her eyebrows. That easy, huh? What, were you planning on having to strong-arm me? I'm starting to wonder if I could. Nico chooses that moment to return to the dining room, and Harley finally ducks out, winking at you as she goes. Sorry about that, where were we? Finishing up what might have been the best lunch ever. Thank you, seriously, for the food and for letting me vent. I just hope you're feeling a bit better now. I think the dessert will get me the rest of the way there. You and Nico grab your forks and dig in, enjoying the sweet, cake-like dish. So, are the perks of finding the one everything you hoped they'd be? He smiles, soft and fond, as he looks across the table at you. Preliminary data looks promising. The two of you do your best to power through the rest of the dessert, but you're only about halfway there when Nico sits back in his chair. As good as this is, I think my stomach has reached its limit, my dessert stomach included. Yeah, I'm pretty full too. You could take the rest home if you'd like, as a treat for later. Or for Harley. Or for the rest of Nico, take some to go for Harley. This is what I feel. We're on a date with him, not Harley. You should take it. Imagine you don't have a lot of time to make baked goods, given everything you do at work. And I know you've got a sweet tooth. Guilty as charged. His eyes practically sparkle with affection as he meets your gaze, and you feel your face heat. And touch that you remembered. Nico checks his watch and lets out a sigh. Lunch is almost over. Guess we should get back to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to putting this day behind me. And once I give Harley Chloe's address, I'll be able to do that too. After work, you head over to the public library Harley gave you the address for. It's way smaller than the private LoveCorp library near your apartment. But that just makes it easier to find Harley among the stacks. I thought I'd find you skulking around in the most stereotypical place for a secret meeting. I've got a reputation to maintain, what can I say? You turn towards one of the bookshelves, admiring the rows upon rows of titles. I can't believe this place still has physical books. Everything at LoveCorp is digitized. I've almost forgotten this was an option. You run your finger along the spine of a thick tome, its cover made of soft green fabric with embossed gold letters. There's just something magical about them. People in the past had a few good ideas. The two of you stand in an oddly comfortable silence as you take it all in until Harley clears her throat. After this afternoon, I'm actually surprised you'd show. I told you I'd get her address, didn't I? You might have just been saying that to get me to leave you alone. You should know from my honesty evaluation score, I keep my promises. Harley's lip twitches. Alright, how could I forget? You grope around your bag for a moment before pulling out the paper with Chloe's address. Here, your grand prize, and I also brought this. Grab another piece of paper, a page of notes with information about Chloe's applications and Project Prometheus. I did a little more digging, and you looked at more classified files than I asked you to. I think I'm a bad influence on you. You give her a placating smile. No, it was just this other creepy girl that I've been doing reconnaissance work for on this side. Creepy. Ouch. Anyway, that's not all. I also poked around in some of the contractor files about Project Prometheus and found a bunch of weird stuff. Weird how? Well, first of all, Chloe used to be a contractor for LoveCorp, but her contract was terminated early because she broke security protocol. I like her even more now. Yeah, well, there's lots of scaling changes across departments, but really stood out to me is all the construction they have planned. They're going to be doing some massive renovations of all the LoveCorp offices, including the 4th. The 4th? But I thought there were only 3. Yeah, me too. Harley scans over the notes you've brought her, frown deepening more and more as she flips through the pages. That does classify as weird. When you said you'd done some digging, I figured you'd bring me some boring paperwork, but this is useful. She folds up all the papers you've given her and stuffs them into her pocket. Look, I'm not too proud to say I'm grateful. You've given me way more than I was expecting, and I know I was asking a lot. But I said I'd get out of your life, and a promise is a promise, so. She nods, an air of finality to it, then turns around. But the moment she takes that first step, you find yourself reaching out to grab her arm and stop her. Wait. Wait. Look, I know yesterday I said all I wanted was for you to leave me alone, but I can't let this go. Just what are you going to do with all this information, and how are you going to help Chloe? Harley stares at you, her gaze searching. I'm surprised you want to know more after you already got in trouble on my behalf. How do you know everything? Because you're in the Matrix, Neo. I literally crashed your lunch date, and you think I didn't do a little bit of eavesdropping before that? Why the sudden change of heart? I don't like being in the dark. Ever since Chloe got the nosebleed, I've been trying to get answers, and I've been shut down at every turn. I just want to know why it happened, and you're the only one who seems to have any idea. Well... She falls abruptly silent as the elderly patron wanders into the stacks and spots the two of you huddled together. Oh, it's so nice to see young couples in this place again. We're not. So many use the couples only library downtown nowadays, and I haven't been able to go since my husband passed away. Is there anything I can help the two of you find? I know this place like the back of my hand. Thank you, but we're good. We're just so in love. Harley's eyebrows basically disappear into her hairline, but luckily the old woman is too busy cooing to notice. Oh, that's wonderful. I remember those days well. Me too, Grandma. Unfortunately, she seems to be reminiscing while staring at you both, which leaves you with no other choice but to reach over and take Harley's hand. No one makes me happier than my one. I couldn't agree more. Oh, young love, there's nothing sweeter. Harley squeezes your hand, and when you look up to find her staring down at you, eyes intense, your heart skips a beat. Look at me, prattling on when you probably came back here to get some time alone. I'll leave you lovebirds to it. She gives the two of you a cheery wave, but even when she's gone, you find yourself reluctant to let go of Harley's hand. You're a pretty good actor, Erica. You almost had me convinced. I was about to say the same thing about you. But back to what we were talking about before. I want to do more to help if you'll let me. Harley falls silent by the time she answers. Anxiety is churning in your gut. Look, I don't trust LoveCorp, and I barely know you. In fact, the only thing I know about you is how loyal you are to LoveCorp. That's not... But you did stick your neck out for me, and I don't leave debts unpaid. So if you want answers, and I'm still not sure you really do, you can come with me to talk to Chloe. Thank you. I promise you won't regret it. We'll see about it. You and Harley both jump at a sudden thud behind you and the sound of a book being knocked over. You whirl around just in time to see a figure stepping further into the aisle. Oh shit. What did I tell you? He's a scientist. He's a nerd. Welcome to the library, boys. Nico, did you follow me? I mean, does it matter? Seriously, does it matter? Anyway, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy, to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit the bell icon so you'll receive notification of when I do content. Aside from that, yeah, all of you are pretty much echoing the same sentiment. Hey, look, guys, it's that perfect match book all over again. I'm gonna throw something out here. I don't think it's entirely perfect match, but I think it is a conglomerate / corporation that's up to no good. And I think that whole, like, brain scan thing, I think it isn't just like let's think of it like an MRI, right? I don't think it's entirely like that. I think it's something that they're experimenting on people, right? So... I love a good conspiracy / tinfoil hat thing. You know, everybody typically goes, no, these are crazy people thoughts. So back in the day, subliminal messages used to be a thing. I'm going to be honest with you. And it actually was a thing. right? Where there would be like text or whatnot underneath or something, or there'd be whispering, or there'd be something imagine you're listening to some music, right? And very faintly, something that you quite can't quite hear or whatnot, someone's like, McDonald's, fries. And just all of a sudden you're thinking, oh man, like you hear it enough and you just want McDonald's fries, right? It's subliminal messaging. There used to be a thing like that. I don't know if there still is. A lot of people, they say they get on some of these apps anymore, and I'm a person that I don't do that, right? But a lot of these people, they doom scroll, and then they wake up out of their doom scrolling like 3 to 5 hours later, and they're like, what the hell? And you just kind of get lost in it, don't you? I'm glad I haven't had that feeling. I haven't had that feeling since I was a kid, when you would sit down and play video games and get lost and immersed in it. I'd say more or less a teenager, but and you would look up at the time and be like, holy shit, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I sat down at like 8 p.m. and yeah, no, I stayed up the whole damn night. Holy shit. Like the only way you realize it is the sun coming in through the window. Those were good times, weren't they? So I rarely get to do that anymore. Um, but something tells me they're not. I don't think they're gonna go with the perfect match approach. Not entirely. If they do, you just ripped off one of your own franchises. Like, can you imagine how stupid that's gonna be? So, I think this is something that it's it's using medical technology and the brain scan and everything else to manipulate someone, to see if they can change their memories, their favorites, their preferences, and whatnot. Because if you could perfect that, um, imagine what you could do, right? So you could actually subliminally change someone's preferences in dating to easily match them with someone else. Like, it's an interesting theory for where this book is going. So we'll have to see. But otherwise, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you agree. Maybe I jarred something for you and you're like, holy shit, you might be onto something. It's very simple. It's very subtle. But again, also, what year is it in this book? Because we're talking about 2052 in one part and all this other shit. So are we beyond 2025? Is this 2025 in the book? Like, they haven't really. I don't believe, and I'm 99.9% sure that they haven't covered what year it is. It'd just be kind of nice to know, because otherwise we don't actually know. So, yeah. Um, yeah, no, that's about it. Hopefully you all are enjoying your Friday slash whenever you're watching this. Let me know how your day is. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.